All right, we are officially live, guys. Welcome back to another live episode. We're going to do a little bit of a recap for the recent MasterTech Expo. If you guys missed out, hopefully you didn't miss out, but if you did, we're going to let you guys know everything that happened at the show. As always, I've got Mr. Brian Schmidt of Mobile Solutions and MasterTech Expo with us tonight. How you doing, Brian?
Doing well, Mark. Let's get into some details here.
Yeah, I think we should hop right on into it. So basically, we have a ton of pictures from the show, and we just kind of wanted to go through these with everybody, and just kind of freestyle it, really, just talking about the event. So first of all, Brian, what part of the event was this?
So this was that Sunday night kickoff party, and those of you guys that were there, you know how amazing this was because, just as you walk in, this was built from the Wet Sounds R&D team, their new product development team, Lee Teeples and others crafted this thing, and that's kind of we wanted this ice sculpture, but we're like an ice sculpture would melt, and we us fabricators and builders we can make better than that, and why not actually build this? And they have like simulated ice at the bottom. It's pretty sick, but that's the
Yeah,
first thing you see as you walk in, and then you walk into this ginormous ballroom, cool band playing, there's bars everywhere, food going, and a lot of cool elements. And maybe you could talk a little bit about what was on each table, Mark.
yeah, I know that there's quite a few pictures of that. Real quick before we get to that, I do want to say, so this thing obviously super cool. The whole event is based obviously on fabrication, and to have something that was fabricated using the style that we usually use throughout the industry was just super cool. Like how much better than an actual ice sculpture is this? And the other thing I wanted to point out too, so this is obviously acrylic, and down here on this corner here, if you can see my cursor, they actually kind of like chipped away the corner of the acrylic, and
Yeah.
in person it just had like that really cool realistic ice look effect. So yeah, super cool. But yeah, here's the band you were talking about. The band was
Yeah.
awesome.
That was fun. Yeah,
Yeah,
they're great.
yeah,
So
yeah. They did a good job. So yeah, here's what you were mentioning on the table. So what are these guys drawing here?
So, like you mentioned, the show is about technology, fabrication, and engagement. And this engagement was super cool because if you wanted to participate, you could draw your own door panel. And look, everybody was going at it. The idea was to draw a 911, Porsche 911, Tom Miller inspired panel that hopefully it caught Chip Foose's eye. And if you were the lucky one, you got to go up on stage and Chip was going to draw with you and do some ideation and drawing skills with you and a thousand of your closest friends. So that was super cool. So everybody turned in lots of stuff. I hope we have the cat drawing up here, but maybe not.
We'll have to see. I'm pretty sure there's unfortunately, these are all out of order, but I'm pretty sure there's a picture somewhere that has like the wall that you guys posted. So, like, I want to say like the day after the kickoff event, you guys like put all of the pictures up on like the main hall that you kind of like walk through, the main hallway that you walk through as you're going back and forth to classes. So it was pretty cool to see everyone else's entry, if you will, that they put together. Some of them were obviously meant to be a little bit more funny than like an actual entry, so
Yeah,
that was fun too.
it's still
But
good fun. It's still
yeah,
good fun. Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of
yeah,
fun. And yeah, so next year we will absolutely top this with bigger, better, different. It'll be a lot of fun. So I think you can see there's just a couple people there.
yeah,
It was a good time.
yeah. Look
And
at it.
yeah,
He's got his
he
plans going there.
yeah, he's getting inspiration from somewhere.
Awesome.
Yeah, these guys are going crazy.
Oh yeah,
So
and so you had the like little French curve thing too that
yeah,
people could
yeah.
use,
So
and
So yeah, I think that's going to be future new products is stuff that's going to help the digital world do scaling and checking radiuses. And this is a French curve that has a positive and a negative spline to it, and even a straight edge. So you literally can draw anything you want. I mean, Chip told me, he goes, all I need is really like a French curve style ruler, and I can draw anything. So that's why we just had them everywhere on the tables. They were there for everybody just to have as a souvenir. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. You might have to send me one of those. I forgot to throw it in my bag. So,
We'll have
but
a whole bunch of them,
yeah.
different sizes coming soon.
No, I'm glad to hear you're expanding on that too, because I know a while back you made like the scaled down versions of the arcs and
Yep.
then of the cross arcs as well. And I use those things all the time when I'm like coming up with an initial shape, just because it's scaled down, and I forget the actual scale number, but it's perfect relation to like the real world arcs once you start making your panels. So
Yeah.
super cool. So yeah, I'm just gonna kind of keep cruising through these. Again, these are kind of out of order. So, oh,
Yeah.
by the way, the food was awesome.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
yeah, what was the beef? Was it like,
It was like a fillet, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
whatever it was good. It was so good. I
Yeah. It
was
was a
starving too, but I ate a ton of that beef, so it was nice to have that ready to
nice.
go.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, that's part of the MasterTech experience is we feed you. So you don't have to go near, oh, there's a couple people right there.
yeah. There's
Cr-
Mr. Yotto,
Yeah. Yeah. So it's all good.
Miguel, one
Yeah.
of our build-off competitors as well,
Yeah.
Miguel Vega.
Yeah. He's awesome.
So
There's
look,
just
yeah,
Justin.
Justin went all out. So this is kind of a precursor here. So you can see Justin's panel, and you guys will see the rest of the pictures. What happened later in the event. So there's
Yeah.
Nalika, deep in thought.
Yeah.
Lots of people at the show. Do you want to talk a little bit? So you did it a little bit different this year, where you kicked off the event, obviously with this kickoff party, but also with some awards. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. This was super cool. We were able to kind of give an overview of the show and give people some insight on how the classes work, the new building structure, and the overall schedule. And then we got into, a little bit of a tribute to our good friend Todd Ramsey, which was super cool. That's his wife right there,
Mm-hmm.
off to the right. And up front here, this is Jonathan from The Specialist, and he won the Future Tech Award, which is awesome. So this is a young gun. It's been in the industry for 3 to 5 years and shows extremely high level aptitude and promise for the industry. And that's what we need. We need these young guys coming up through the ranks. And he won the Future Tech Award for 2024. So that was awesome.
Nice. Yeah, congrats to him. That was so cool.
Yeah, and Justin won Best of Light,
Mm-hmm.
so Best Lighting Award, which is a whole art form in itself, with blended with fabrication and all that stuff. So that was really cool to honor him.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what other picks you got. Yeah, so Justin Marks was honored from Zach Luke, director of Rockford. He gave Justin Marks the Master Installer Award, which was awesome. Or
Fabricator.
fabricator, yeah,
Yeah.
fabricator. Let's get it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he was master fabricator, and there's also Dean Baynett from 5 Star. He was awarded the Clean Wire, as he should be, the Clean Wire Award. So there's 5 awards, and then this last one was super special, and he's actually going to join us here in just a minute.
Yeah, we've got him in the back studio. That's Mr. Gary Bell. You
Yeah,
awarded him the Lifetime Achievement Award. So
yeah, and
super cool.
that was special. I
Yeah.
mean, who doesn't deserve it more than Gary? Gary's dedicated his career to helping others, giving back, and just an all-around awesome dude. And whatever he does, whatever Gary does, he's all in. He's
Yeah.
going deep. He's doing his research. He's going to read the book. He's going to tell you everything he can about the topic at hand. So
Yeah.
I love that about Gary.
Yeah. He's definitely influenced all of us and, had some sort of impact on all of our careers. So
Yeah. Uh,
looking
so
forward to bringing him in. Just let me know when we do want to bring him in.
yeah.
So I think that's pretty much all the pictures I have from that part of the show from our photographer. Do we want to get into some of the training classes?
Yeah, let's talk about some training, and then we'll bring Gary in and get his kind of take on some of the stuff. But
Okay.
this was a cool class, and
There's Dean.
Mark. Yeah, there's Dean right there, and
Yeah.
Fernando and Pete. But what was really neat about this year is we are able to have vehicles in the classroom. So we're doing live installs, live builds with high definition cameras, zooming in and just breaking down the process so you can see as an attendee, hey, this is how it's done. We're going to do it right now. Instead of talk about it, we're actually doing it. And I think that's a huge kind of testimonial to the level of the show. Everybody knows that, you know, you're coming to MasterTech, and it is definitely going to be a step up in your game for sure.
The other thing I liked about the classroom setup, I just want to point it out since it's on screen right now, but you had these cameras, and each of these cameras off screen of this picture, there was a large projector screen. So it was perfect to have this camera like zoomed in on if you were working on the table saw, or if these guys did a clean wire class, so they had a lot of times that they were showing examples on like the amplifier racks that they had pre-built before the show, and like showing the process there. So it's just nice to see everything up close and in person, even though you're in the same room as it, obviously, but with that camera on the screen. So that's cool. Kind of
Yeah.
get more of a feel. So there's one of the screens, obviously, but
Yeah, there's Ray, and Ray and Larry's class, Ray West from Titan and Larry from MSC.
yeah,
They did this super cool class on Teslas, and they actually had a Tesla it's to the right of me. You can't see it in the
yeah,
picture,
yeah,
but they did a whole breakdown on the charging system, how the 12-volt system works, how the the high voltage worked, and how much current you can pull from the 12 volt, and if you brick it, what to do, and and
yeah,
so how to charge it properly and tap into the kind of the aftermarket side of it, so you can pull some current out of these cars. And I thought it was fascinating. They did the homework and had the car right there to show you. Wasn't theory. It was, here's the car. We're going to show you right here live on this Model S. That's
yeah,
powerful.
yeah. It was super cool. Definitely demystify the electric car quite a
Yeah.
bit. Here's
Yeah.
your the theater, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So look how cool some of these classrooms are. This is a proper theater, holds a couple hundred people. And, when we pull Gary in here, he can talk a little bit about this, but this is a high fidelity course on just how sound is recorded, how it's looked at, how to use it as a reference system.
There's Gary
Uh,
right there, actually.
yeah, there's Gary right there. But it was a packed house. That is Bob Katz, and he's won and assisted in multiple Grammy awards from other artists, and he's just kind of recognized in that world is the guy. He is the guy in that world. So it was high level to bring him in, and it was important for us to have somebody like that at that level to just kind of all of us go, wow, this guy, he has pioneered lots and lots of stuff that everybody uses as kind of like the standard today. So pretty cool.
Nice. Let's see here. So some other
Yeah,
tracks as well, right?
yeah, yeah. That's Mike Coalfield from Custom Sounds. Mike is probably the biggest powerhouse independent retailer in North America. He has 30 something stores, 30 plus stores, and he shares his policy manual on how to make your business scalable. And boy, he's an excellent presenter, super dynamic, but he just basically gives you his recipe book and playbook on how to be successful. It was awesome. So to
So
have industry icons like that teach their business philosophy was great.
so that would have been from the business owners
Yep.
track, right?
Yep.
Yep.
This is in a business track. Yep.
Nice. Right on. Let's see. There's Gary and Lee, or sorry, Matt and Lee
Yeah.
did a
Yes.
CAD class, right?
Yep. Yeah. So Matt and Lee had different strategies and different software. Matt's working in Aspire, and Lee likes Corel Draw, and you need both. And talked about the differences, and you can see in the screen there that what he's trying to illustrate is working around your envelope. If you have a laser that's a 12 by 24, you still can execute at a high level, but you're just going to work around the envelope and making two parts fit together, and don't let that hold you up, and just showing you all kinds of tricks and techniques with that. And then we had a laser right there live. We're cutting as we talk. We're cutting on the laser, showing you live examples of how that is executed. So I thought that was a testament to the class. Is again, we're just showing live real world examples.
Yeah, for sure. Let me let me blow past these. We'll come back to this stuff, but while we're still on the topic of classes, so there's a little bit more of a close up of those guys. But I do want to show, so there's the Tesla that we were talking about a little bit earlier, the class
Yep.
they did there. There's Bobcats. There's a little bit different view of the theater. I do like
Mm-hmm.
too in this room that they have these like tables, so it makes it
Mm-hmm.
really easy to take notes.
Yep.
Of course, snacks for break time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Always nice.
Yep.
You can get an
Yeah.
idea for what the hallway there looks like. So there's classrooms all on the left side here. This is the main theater over on the right side. But this is just one of the buildings, and there's, I guess you could say there's two total,
Yep.
right, for
Uh-huh.
filled with classrooms. But
Yeah.
this is what I wanted to get to. So obviously, the whole point of the event is to see a lot of things built live. So here you've got Phil and Justin, and they're working on. They completely built a panel live in class, which is pretty cool. Got
Yeah.
some body filler action there as well. They did quite a bit on the. This is a dual bay router table, so again, you can see that camera obviously pointing down to give everyone in the audience a nice close up view. And
Yeah. And they did a fantastic job. They knocked it out of the park. I mean, the panel they built was just incredible. The lighting, the layers, and Chris Pate was in there as well. So it was, these guys, hats off to them for that whole mobile toys team on really kind of stepping up on this track. Actually, it's one of the most popular and well attended classes. And hopefully, you guys that went had a good experience because we did split the class sizes in half. Um, and that was to give you guys a better experience. We could obviously have a sea of people and 300-400 in a room at a time, but we try to cut that down so it was more manageable. And all the presenters did their presentations twice, so we had smaller classrooms, and we're running 9 classes, Mark, consecutively. That's a lot. 9 at the same time. And then they repeat the second day, and that's, I think, super cool from an attendee standpoint. It gave you a lot of selection, and it also gave you a much more personal feel because you got to sit up close and ask questions, and it just wasn't this massive room. It was just, these are manageable rooms. That's all by design, and you can see it's filled,
yeah,
but it's more manageable, so it's a better experience, and that was the goal, and I think we accomplished that.
for sure. Yeah, it definitely felt personal being in there, and you could easily ask questions and everything, and communicate easily. So yeah,
Yeah.
went really well. So
Yeah.
on the technology side as well, you had the folks from Peel 3D there doing some
Oh
3D
yeah.
scanning exhibition,
Yes.
and
This is Andrea Schwartz. She is an expert in this field, and boy, she knew her stuff.
there we
And
go.
they're doing live scans, dual screen. So a lot of times you're seeing a scan on one screen and then maybe like a PowerPoint and information on the other screen. And then this prop was built from the boys at Avant Garde Design, and Charles Brazil, Jeremy Carlson. They built this kick panel, and Jeremy Katz. All three really kind of crafted this prop. That's sheet metal from a 68 Camaro, but it's not the sheet metal. It's actually resin printed
Yeah,
replica. It's a
yeah,
resin print of the sheet metal, and then they build on top of that a full kick panel that's a legit part,
yeah,
that they go through the whole process. And again, what a testament to just showing it live. I hope there's a real picture of it.
yeah.
Tom was part of this
Maybe
class as
later.
well.
Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, there's Tom in the background there. I'll I'm watching Gary in the back room, by the way. So Gary, if you're once you're ready, I can see he's kind of moving around, getting a spot set up. He was on his way home from work, so he should be joining us shortly. But
Yeah. So here's Doug and Josh from First Tech, and they showed some really cool live examples of DC electronics and how relays and voltage works and drops, and just, I think, fundamental stuff that a lot of us need to know or forgot, or coming up through the ranks, you're not exposed to it. So they did a great class on that. So that was cool.
yeah, it never hurts to have a refresher, even if it's more basic, right?
Hmm. And here's Phil Cato. The guy's an amazing instructor and just crushed it. Showed his kind of strategy on building seats and blending that with fabrication. So he's carving foam, stack fabbing the foam, basically just like we do with wood. They do it with foam in different densities and shape it and blend it together, and then build the patterns for that, and show how to build the seams and tuck it and reinforce it. And it's super cool, really interesting. And if you were new to the category, he was able to explain it in a way that it made sense. And if you were in the category and you're good at it, he gave you nuggets to go to the next level. And I thought that's pretty cool.
Gotta love the nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Larry Penn, and he brought the Porsche brand manager down from Calgary. And they're talking. It looks like they're the Lululemon a business model, with super expensive. We don't discount, and we have a targeted audience, and that's same as Porsche. And we hope that you have the same philosophy in your store, a targeted audience that will pay you for your craft, and they see value in what you do, for sure. There's the trio, the Brain Trust, Sage, Lee, and Matt, and they're all showing different things on 2D CAD. This was the number one thing requested. If you guys got a survey, please fill it out. We'd love to get your feedback. And but number one was 2D automation for next year. So that kind of gives us our trajectory.
Yeah, and so that survey that was for everyone that attended the show, correct? So
Correct. Yeah.
I see Gary's kind of set up. Do we want to bring him in?
Yeah. Let's bring Gary in.
All right. There he is. You're in, Gary. How's it going?
Good. I hope this works okay. It is not a proper mic setup, but
Oh, it actually sounds pretty good. I
That
think
looks
we're good.
Yeah, I like your T1 line.
thank you, T-Mobile, if that's my T1 line.
That's it. So how you doing, Gary?
Oh man, just going crazy like always. How about you?
Yeah, same. Hey, so give us your take on some of these classes, and actually this one specifically, this high fidelity one, which was your baby. Tell us
Yeah.
your kind of thoughts.
We've been trying to find a way to really integrate the high fidelity and the high-end car audio, the acoustic portions and the sound quality portion of it integrated with the fabrication classes. And we've been, you and I know this behind the scenes, we've been trying to find the right way to do this. And we've had little bits of sound quality and tuning and vehicle interface just as parts of other classes. But we really, we worked on this really hard to try to bring together what would kind of be the next level of high fidelity classes. And that's what led to, getting Bob Katz there, which was just absolutely amazing. It really is the missing link in building high-end audio systems is knowing how things were recorded, how it's supposed to sound, and then using that to analyze what your car really sounds like. And Bob was showing us some stuff that just blew my mind, as far as we're looking at some very famous recordings and then looking at pictures from the actual recording session. And I'm telling you, I've listened to some of these recordings hundreds of times, and I never would have guessed that the musicians were arranged the way they were. And you wouldn't know that unless you had somebody like Bob there explaining how the microphones are set up and what is done in the mix and what is done in the recording process. And it was just eye-opening, and it really just kind of pushed that level up a notch from what anybody's ever done. It's not the same old, like, hey, here's how you set a 31 band EQ, right? It's really pushing things beyond and really just widening and opening people's eyes, and then realizing that you're not just trying to make every single song sound good. You're trying to be accurate to what the recording was. And that led to us setting up a reference system and giving demos so that people could hear these same tracks and get, Bob was in the room or Andy was in the room to explain where the instruments actually were and give them a guided tour through what they were hearing. And it was just absolutely amazing. That followed up, obviously Andy did some, I would just say, new content. We've been training as an industry, we've been training the same content over and over and just tweaking it a little bit when it comes to tuning. And in the last few years, there's been some advancement in the measurement tools and the way we look at some of those higher end systems. And Andy came in and put together an amazing presentation that simplified that and kind of brought it a thorough understanding and an easy way to digest some of the information about phase and how important phase and summing is. And then follow that up with some amazing demos from Mark Eldridge, basically real-time demonstrations of how the vehicle environment affects the sound and the benefits and pros and cons of each location, and then what that takes in tuning. And all while Matt was there working the JL Max and showing the actual visual representation of what you see when you tune a car. So it was awesome, just wild.
Super cool.
Can you explain for everyone really quick Mark's like test setup that he had up on the stage?
So Mark's been kind of developing this for a few years now with his in-person classes that he does, where he basically mocks up the reflections of a vehicle. And in the past, it's just been some, pieces of wood to mimic the rake of a windshield or a door. And he actually went and welded up a whole framework of a curved windshield so that you could see what the frequency response looked like when you dropped the driver into a dash location firing off the glass, or what it looked like in a door panel, or firing in from the side. And then watching those measurements and those reflections in real time with that prop is one of those things that just really makes it click for a lot of people. That was really the goal. Was when we're up there and we're trying to get information across, there's a lot of places to find this information, but bringing it to people in a way that's easy to digest and understand, and with those guided demos and visualizations, are what really helps it stick. And is really the goal, is that effectiveness of that transfer of information.
Nice.
That's awesome. Yeah, let's cruise through some more pictures. Let's get to the main stage.
Yeah, hold on. Let me so again, these are kind of out of order, but let me get back to, I just wanted to show in the hallway, there's those pictures we were talking about.
Yeah, there's some good ones.
Any stick out to you?
That one, and whoever drew the cat one, we got to know, if you drew the cat one, I need to know who you are.
Yeah, unfortunately it's not here, but
yeah.
They know who they are.
If yeah, you know who you are. If you drew the cat one, you better speak up.
No, this is super cool though. I mean, this is something that you've kind of carried over from something you've done in classes in the past. Like usually when you kick off a mobile solutions class in person, it starts with like, hey, let's kind of design a panel, and you kind of pick the best one to like build off of. So just I like seeing the evolution here of how this is, becoming part of the expo as well. So, and I think we have some pictures of that later, but you want to talk a little bit about the main hall, and then we can get into the...
Yeah, let's talk about some of the cool events. Rockford is awesome, pivotal sponsor for the show. And that table right there, they had Hank Robinson, super famous artist, that engraved all the amplifiers. I think we'll probably have a couple pictures as we get into it a little bit more, but he did... I mean, this guy is phenomenal, and did live engraving for every person on the build-off team got one of these amplifiers. So I thought that was really cool and nice of Rockford to do.
Yeah.
But Rockford also did this Jeep install live in their training. They built an entire system in under 2 hours. Eric Russell was the MC, and they had the whole RTTI team there. They had so many people in their room. They broke the fire code. I mean, it was insane. And it was a huge room too. So hats off to the Rockford team for crushing it and being the build off sponsor. So nice job, guys.
For sure.
Yeah. And then, others there, we've got Audison and Brax and Helix, Larry Penn and his team. They did a fantastic job. Their booth experience inside and outside, they actually won the award for it. Outside they had a Bronco Raptor with a 75-inch or 80-inch screen that had a tutorial on the demo of the audio systems. It was just next level really stuff. Cool.
Yeah.
Next level, yeah. I was super proud of all the vendors. You guys can see some of the booths were very interactive, and they had lots and lots of vehicles to sit in and listen to and kind of experience.
Yeah, that's what I love about this show is like the whole mentality is really like education, right? And teaching you something. And all the vendors and exhibitors really brought that to light as well with, what they were showing everybody. How many demo cars did you actually have? Do you know total?
Oh, geez, I'd say
There were a lot, like
40, probably 40
yeah.
plus. Yeah,
And
40
they were
plus.
all like really high end, like nice builds too.
Yeah, I
So
mean, Gary can kind of talk to the level of, how what guys are bringing, and the expectation at our show is a little different than maybe what they would do somewhere in other places and stuff. So
Yeah, I think that the average demo car is definitely 4 notches up from most shows. And the other cool thing is that there's a little bit of something for everybody. You had the kicker guys out there with the Bronco that just absolutely hammered. We were laughing because it was vibrating, like it caught the resonance of the front doors, and it was like moving the front door like an inch from
yeah,
80 feet away. And that you have that experience. You had
I know we have a picture of it. Let me
Sage
see.
and those guys brought the Accord wagon with the 13/8 in it. That was just in a hatchback wagon.
Yeah.
Style. It was
Yeah,
just
12 in the back, one up front, right?
yeah. Yeah, you can hear the one in the back. Then you have Ark and Brian Mitchell's. I can't even count how many trophies Brian has for that car, but one of the amazing sound demos, and then all sorts of production type systems. Dave Cause and bringing the Hennessy,
the Corvette, yeah.
just like all sorts of cool stuff, and
Mm.
all the way down to I was just gonna say Casey and the Morel Bronco with the Mobridge amp in it, and the drop-in system. Like there was a lot of really cool demos and a lot of really relevant products. And
Yeah, multiple vendors, manufacturers had 3D printers in their booth, and they were printing speaker adapters, open cloud, open source, where you can just go, okay, I got this vehicle. If you got a bamboo printer, you can just print your own adapters, and we want to help you. So that's cool. And then Big Rep here, rocking. They were printing a pole handle on like a hot rod or something that was full scale with magnets and everything embedded into it. It was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it was another one of the props that they used in the 3D scanning class. But yeah, I want one of those printers. Really bad. Some more of the demo cars outside too. That's what's nice about the venue is like there's so much space inside. Really, there's a ton of space, but once you add outside as well, like it's like double the amount of square footage almost. Like there's just really a lot of room for all these vendors and all their their products. So super cool. Well, let's go back to here's the stage, right? And obviously this is the calm before the storm. This is before things got crazy, right? So we had the build off. Let me see here where I can go in my
that was before there was a mess. So yeah, and you can see
Hold on.
I actually have most of them behind it.
Give me
So so you can see we actually have one the Harmon and Junior and they actually took theirs home, but I have Wes's from last year. But we have 3 of the 4 here. At our spot. So.
Yeah, let's just show the action pictures first, and then we can look live at them because they're right there behind you. So you've got Angel right there. You got TJ. So these guys, if anyone's out there watching that's not familiar with the build off, so the way the build off works is there's 2 teams of 3 people each. They have 3.5 hours, and they go head to head building live on stage. And this year they had to build a subwoofer enclosure beauty panel. Rockford Fosgate is the sponsor for the build off, so it was for a P310, I think. Does that sound right? Pretty sure.
Yep.
P3.
Yep. It's exactly right.
Yeah. And so anyways, yeah, like I said, 3.5 hours. So it definitely always comes down to the wire. Like in the last like 45 minutes, half hour, it gets pretty intense, when you say, Gary.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And the level of stuff that they're building is just insane. And I know they get to bring a little bit of it with them, but these guys were just animals up there getting this thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all hands on deck.
Yeah. So you can see the red team here. You can kind of get, behind the scenes look. They were working on soldering everything together because they had some motorization as part of their panel. Is that one? Is it hooked up to power behind you, Brian? I guess you
No.
probably have. Okay, you probably have to
I
have. They had like an app, like it was wireless, like because they
Yeah,
used like an alarm, like a
yeah,
car alarm to activate it. But
yeah. They used
anyway,
a Viper remote to activate it, and I don't have all this. I didn't want to put too much power to it. I didn't want to damage anything, but
yeah, yeah. But so that it's behind Brian here. Let me just make Brian big really quick. So it's behind Brian on his left there. The big Rockford Fosgate
yeah,
logo.
this opens.
Yeah. So
I'm
it
sure you
like
guys saw the video.
yeah, it motorizes open, which is
Yeah,
super cool.
yeah,
So.
yeah,
You've got Justin. So Justin is from the blue team, and they were the defending champions. So they were working on their panel there. All four of them are behind you, correct? Yeah, I can see them.
yeah,
So all four. Yeah, so we'll have to go through those in a minute. Do you want to show those really quick?
yeah, for sure. Like I said, we have three of the four. One of them is
Oh,
Wesley's.
okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but I mean, his is so cool too. But I mean, you can see the lighting. But this is last year's theme for the guys that are not familiar with it. It was an amplifier trim panel, and then we switched to you had to showcase a woofer in like a modern vehicle style. And I think Phil and these guys, I think this is the green team. Was that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, green team. This was, I think a really good representation of I could envision this into a modern vehicle, and it's got some lighting, multiple, layers of lighting and different materials. Cool little Rockford logo. They all had to have some type of Rockford badge on it. That's kind of some of the criteria.
Oh yeah, they were orange, by the way. Orange
Orange
team.
team.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously Ada and Angel and Junior on this guy. Yes,
They were
lots of
red team.
red team. This thing splits apart. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then Justin and TJ and Tyler, man, awesome job. I mean, they fabricated all of that on the stage. I mean, they were making it rain aluminum everywhere. Yeah, there's Herman's over there. There you go.
Yeah, hold on, I'll go through them. So I just wanted to show. So this is what it looks like when it's open.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I mean, they had a vision. They had a vision for sure. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's got two layers of acrylic, which is neat because that allows them to do that like two different colors. So like you
Yep.
can see one is blue, one is red on the different layers. They've got the buildoff logo down there in the corner. Super cool. Yeah, and then so this was the blue team. I'll give you guys
Yeah.
a nice close look there. I love all the lighting they added up in here, along with that unique grill design. And like you said, so these guys machined that aluminum live on stage in front of everybody. Chips were flying and hit me in the face. It was crazy. So
Hey, they built it. They built it on stage,
yeah,
and hats off to them. And look at the lines on the top. You can see some of the music car influence with some hot rod influence in there.
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah. Super cool.
nice job.
There's
And
the orange team panel.
yeah, I mean that is just a timeless design too. All of them, they all should be super proud because they're all cool in different ways and they're badass. So
Yeah,
they
this one
they
was
did a
sick.
good job.
And then this is the one that you don't have behind you there, but you can see.
Yeah, go on the left and zoom right in on one of those little yeah, there you go. Check those out. So that's multiple layers of suede it's lasered out and it's got the little diamond hearts. So cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they went with kind of like the 90s color scheme too. So it's got
Yeah.
like this light blue and then the bright pink, which was pretty unique. I wish I had a picture of it, but the underside of this panel too had like a lighting element to it. It was really cool. And then like this whole part up here kind of floated above everything. And
Yeah.
then they also 3D printed like this whole piece here. It's actually 3 pieces that they 3D printed, obviously before the event started, because like we had some leeway in the rules. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to 3D print something in the 3.5 hours, but they did like physically join them on stage, like use adhesive to glue them together, and then they did
Right.
body work to smooth everything out, and they wrapped it with this like wrap film.
Yeah.
And they have this piece here too that's resin printed on the inside, so
That's cool.
super cool.
I mean, you got to give it up for them. They worked really hard on that. Thing is awesome.
Yeah, I've got more pictures that we can get back to. Just give me a second to cue it up. But Gary, anything to add on the build off?
I'm just super proud of all of them. I mean, the level and the execution was the best it's ever been. Yeah, out of all 3 years.
Yeah.
These definitely just kept pushing and pushing. That's what I love to see, that year over year of trying to progress. And it's fun. It's fun to sit back and watch. The older we get, watching the kids fight it out is fun now.
Like that looks like a lot of work.
Looks like
It was intense. It always is, but nah. I'd reiterate what you said. Super proud of the guys. I mean, it's awesome that they were, it came right down to the wire, but for the most part, everything was done right at the end of the time, and it was cool. So
Yeah.
So tell us about this, Brian. So we talked about it a little bit earlier, the drawing contest during the kickoff event. So what went down here?
So Chip went through all of them, and I was sitting right next to him when he's picking all these. Like, I think this one really stands out. This one kind of lends what I like the idea of picking this person. He had no idea who it was. And I go, well, you're going to love the guy because he just worships you. And he was the right guy for sure. It was well deserved to have Justin Cush up there. But he took it and then asked Justin, hey, what's your favorite car? And what was it, Gary? A Skyline?
Yeah. It was an older Skyline.
Yeah. I mean, hey, everyone's got their flavor. And so Chip's like, all right, let's draw it. So they went through and he talked about ideation and how, even your hand and wrist placement, how to get those clean lines, what pens to use. And it was cool. We turned off all the lights in the whole auditorium in the hall there. And I mean, it was full, like packed. And he's just walking you through a day with Chip Foose. It was just a walk in the park for him. So easy and fluid. It just makes it look so simple, but it's so complicated, right, Gary?
Yeah. It's amazing too. And the car choice was, I'm just going to say, an odd choice. If I'm Chip Foose, I'm like, well, I've never tried to draw a Skyline before, but he didn't even flinch. Like there wasn't an ounce of hesitation or anything like, oh, let's do a 50s or 60s car. It was just like, okay, let's just do it. Like, I love Chip's just like, I can do whatever. It doesn't matter what you throw at me, I'll handle it. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's first class.
The other thing that was cool, you can kind of see the edge of it up here where my cursor is, but there's this huge screen, up behind the stage. And so they have these cameras shooting down so you're able to see like up close and personal exactly everything that he's doing on the paper. And we forgot to mention it during the build off too. They also had those cameras going zoomed in tight onto like the router tables and everything as the guys were working. So it's a nice setup we got going on there with the stage.
Yeah, definitely super cool. A lot of interaction. You watch that timer in the middle, and boy, it's just cranking down the minutes on those build-off teams.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
a lot of fun. Do you have any more pictures, kind of an overall view of that?
Give me just a second.
Yeah, we just got these pictures from our photographer, so they're a little fresh. Just kind of getting everything organized after the show is always fun, but
Yeah.
the idea is to give you guys a taste and experience. If you were there, you can relate to every word we're saying. If you weren't there, it just gives you the DNA of how cool this was. And hey, you missed out, so make sure you're there next year.
Yeah. Yeah, there. Let me just like fast forward. There are some like more pictures, and then we can come back to the other keynote speaker. Sorry, these are just, like we said, we got like a huge photo dump from the photographers. So give me just a minute. All right, so there's a couple more build off pictures, but I did want to point out this. I forget. Remind me this gentleman's name.
Hank Robinson from Haro Designs, and he's actually here in Phoenix. But I mean, look at the artwork. I mean, that is, if I would have got one of those amps, I would cherish that thing forever. I mean, it is definitely a collector's item.
Yeah,
it's really cool to see somebody who's so talented doing handwork like that. I look at that and I'm like, well, yeah, if somebody drew that and then I could laser etch that, but like I couldn't draw a straight line to save life. Like,
yeah.
Like, here, let me freehand this from my brain.
It's funny. It's funny you mentioned that. I was telling one of my buddies back home about this last night, and he just assumed, he was like, "Oh, they laser etched it. That's pretty cool." I was like, "No, the guy like actually did it like in person, like by hand." So.
And I assume that's not one of those like $4.99 Harbor Freight tool etching. There's a little more serious apparatus there.
Yeah. I mean, he's like serious. He's just all blacked out with his apron and black gloves. I mean, he takes it serious.
Yeah.
It's no joke. That dude's and he's intense too. He never looked up once.
Yeah.
He's totally focused on the task at hand.
Yep.
Yeah. I was telling Brian earlier too. So on Rockford Fosgate, on their Instagram page, they're doing like a bracket like competition between all the amplifier designs. So like as you go through their story, you can vote for your favorite. So like I'm pretty sure today was like the first day of voting. So they'll like figure out who won tomorrow, and then it will be like the next stage of the bracket. So
Cool.
I'm pretty sure this one was doing pretty well. This was kind of one of the favorites. I think Ada's watching right now, so he can chime in. But I'm pretty sure that he ended up with this one. So
yeah, the Las Vegas one was really cool.
Oh yeah,
I like the snake one. It was like a python or a viper or something. That one was sick.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's cool. Good stuff. Good stuff.
a couple more build off pictures here. You got Junior and Phil going to town. Troy.
I know you probably ran through the classes and that before I came on, but that's the other thing too. This year we had a lot of new instructors and just a really diverse group of people, and just everybody just did such an amazing job. And it's so much work to plan out these presentations and try to keep things entertaining and fun and moving along. And then, like I'd said before, trying to focus on that retention of information. And all the instructors did an amazing job. I'm so stoked that we have kind of a new breed. And, I saw Junior up there fabricating, and, these guys, they really crushed it this year. So,
Yeah,
100%.
build off competitors and instructors.
Yeah.
So, yeah. They had a full plate coming into this event. There's a nice overhead view, Brian, there of kind of everything. You can see this. That's the screen I was referring to. That's behind the stage. It looks small in this picture, but in real life, it's huge. It's like 2 times as tall as me.
Yeah, and you could tell like the build off just started. Things just kind of opened up because the more time those seats just fill, and more people anticipate the competition, and the level just keeps going up. So
yeah, everyone's eating lunch right now. This is like the lunch rush. So like over here where my cursor is, if you were to like walk around here and go to the left, there's like basically a big space that is kind of the cafeteria at lunchtime. You go in there and you guys had the full catered meals, and it was nice too because like just the little things of having like 2 rows of catering where you could go on each side of the table. So you had like 4 lines, like everyone just ripped through the line really quick, and it was perfect. So
yep.
And while we're on that topic, unless you have anything you want to interject, I did just want to mention too, and show, we'll go back to the clean wire stuff. But so this is like the dinner time area as well. Dude, those tacos, they're so good. Please tell me every build off or every expo there needs to be that taco vendor.
We have contracted them as long as they'll have us.
Sign them
But
for life.
yeah, but there. I mean, I don't know if you could see how long that line was, but that was like seconds, thirds, and more fourths. But it was cool. I mean, it was a cool vibe. You know, this was in between the day classes and night classes and music playing. It was a cool vibe. Absolutely, tacos were number one as a favorite. There you go. Get it on there. That carne asada. Yeah, look at that.
Hey, the barbecue was legit too, though. So don't sell that short.
Yeah, it was good. It was all.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, and I just want to reiterate too. I mean, it might sound silly that we're like talking about food, but just from like going to a trade show type experience, like it's such a pain. Like especially, like when you have to go off campus and like find food and everything's busy and they're like, oh, sorry, the wait's 45 minutes, and you're like, I just want to be focused on learning and stuff. It's just, it's nice to just grab food. It's super fast, quick, and then go to those vendor night schools after. So works out perfect.
Absolutely.
If you don't have anything else there, let's go back. I just want to make sure.
Let's talk about Steve from Kicker.
Okay, yeah, gotcha. And then we should talk about the Clean Wire Challenge. Go ahead and start talking and just give me a second. I got to figure out where it was.
Yeah, so about a year ago, I was able to go see the nice folks at Kicker in Stillwater, Oklahoma. And what a facility and just what an awesome company. And I thought, you know what, how cool would it be to have the president and founder of Kicker, Steve Irby, and just interview him and just ask questions that everybody probably wanted to ask him, and we did. So we had a nice chat, and I was able to just ask the whole evolution of why the name, and he broke it down on I built a truck box, and my buddy said it kicked his ass, and we just left the ass part off, and now it's called Kicker, and just stuff like that. And he's a pro engineer guy, and we talked everything from solo barracks, the square woofers, the amplifier introduction, and just their whole philosophy on how they always want to be better and keep improving. And they've contributed a ton to the industry. And we just thought we'd recognize Steve and his team and John Myers, and it's just a ton of other people over there. They're just, amazing people. We love to work with them. So.
Yeah, it was really interesting to listen to. Kicker's just such a big part of car audio history. Like, just from that aspect, it was really enjoyable.
Absolutely iconic.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So that was cool. We'll always have, someone like that. I think that we spotlight and just kind of, ask the questions that everybody wants to ask and see what they have to say.
Yeah. Would that be a good thing for people to chime in on, maybe who they would like to see as a keynote next year? Like, I feel like it's always good to get feedback from everyone. So if you guys have somebody in particular.
If you say Jay Leno, we're already working on that, and I don't think that's an option, but we would love Jay Leno.
That would be great. We're going to come back to this because that's special. But let's talk about the Clean Wire Challenge. So it'll take me a second to get there, but obviously one of the other challenges, a lot like the build off, is the Clean Wire Challenge. So Dean and Fernando from 5 Star, those guys kind of head that up. But basically the idea is is there 4 people that go each day?
Yep, 4 teams. 4 teams each day.
One person each.
Yep, it's just one person is the team, and they really get an amp rack just like you see there. It's a big piece of plastic.
Yep.
You can't screw it up because they only get one.
And everyone has the same amp rack too, so same footprint to work on.
Yeah, look at this guy built a whole grid just to do his layout, so it was perfect. But they all get different product too. So there's different sponsors. They're donating product for the Clean Wire, and these. I mean, look, he 3D printed these blocks for wire channels. Yeah, little standoffs, and they're different gauges, and just super. I love the innovation with this because it always is better and different. Who doesn't appreciate some Clean Wire? And then here's Pierce, just doing
Literally
his
modifying it there.
yeah, I mean, made a huge mess. We love that, and his style's a little different than everybody else's. He likes to mount the amps on the front and then have a service loop and the wires tuck into the back, and then everything is detailed on the back. And it's to each their own, but his style is really cool. He did end up winning again, second year in a row. So
Yeah.
kudos to him. But man, there was some strong competition. Here's Dave Kaz. Dave brought the heat and did a killer job as well, along with everybody else. I mean, there was nobody that didn't do amazing. It was just kind of everybody got to vote. It was people's choice. It was a legitimate. You vote, you put it in a box, and then we count them up, and that's how it was tallied up. So
Yeah.
and each day a whole new set of 4 go on the first day, for another set of 4 go on the second day.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a bunch of video of the finished panels. Unfortunately, I don't have any pictures because I just focus more on taking video of everything. But you don't happen to have one there, right? Like everyone took theirs home, right?
I don't have any clean wire.
I think there's
fabrics.
there's pictures on Instagram. Maybe?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yep. There's a ton on if you guys check out the Clean Wire club with Dean and Fernando. They have a bunch on there. There's a contest even on just an online contest. But yeah, we'll post some more.
Yeah, those guys did an awesome job, though. I mean, like you said, they were all so good. Like when I was voting, it was hard to pick a favorite for sure because they were solid. Like it was really good.
No, it was fun. It was great. It was a good time.
Do we have anything else we want to talk about before we get into that the award that you were presented, Mr. Brian?
Let's show it. It was great. Gary and I both got awards that we had no idea were coming, and how cool. I mean, it's just one of those years that you'll never forget because those are special moments, and you just look back and go, man, that was cool. So this is from Chip and Fred Lynch from Arc Audio, and the idea was it's awarded every other year, so it's a biannual award, and you have to meet a criteria of.
And just so everyone knows, this is something they came up with. So and they awarded this to Brian. So
yes,
Brian's kind of explaining it, but yeah, go ahead.
Yep. So Chip is giving it to me. He's like, I don't want to give it to you, but I am. Just give me a second. But it's a lifetime achievement award for automotive education, and you'd have had to dedicate over 30 years of your career to this, and kind of be unanimous within the industry on someone who deserves this. And it's a global award too, so it's not just America or even North America. It's international. So really cool, very special, and I'll never forget it. I was at a loss for words completely when they called me up on stage. So it's cool.
Yeah, Brian, I mean, no one is more deserving than you. You've influenced all of us, and like just the amount of people that you've taught around the world is insane. So it's super cool that they came up with this, and to be like the inaugural winner, is that like the correct term? The first awardee or recipient, I guess, of it is just amazing. So
yeah, it's awesome. And Chip's always pushing the education side of things, and how much it hurts that we don't have shop classes in school anymore. And again, there's nobody that's done more for training in our industry, and even broadening that out beyond just car audio now than you have, Brian. So it's a really big deal, and it meant a lot to Chip. So it was awesome. As soon as when I got the phone call that they're going to do it, I was pretty giddy for you. And nobody deserves it more. So
well, thank you guys.
For sure.
Completely surprised, and I mean, we got to carry the torch. We got to help that next generation for sure.
Absolutely. And so my understanding too is it's going to be like a biannual award. So two years from now, they'll award it again. And are they going to do it at the expo?
It's only at the expo, and Fred told me as long as you have the show, we'll have the award. So
That is awesome. That's so cool.
So yeah.
Oh, there's Fred right there.
Yeah, there's Fred. Yeah, it was good. It was awesome. Yeah, special moment for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, all good.
So the other thing too, so I mean, if you can, I guess to sum it up, the show was a huge success, right? Like tons of fun. I think everyone had a great time, really found it valuable. Is there anything you kind of want to add there? Or?
So from my perspective, I just felt the energy was higher and more intense than ever. I was from the manufacturers bringing their A game to their training, their demo vehicles, the booths, and just the attendees. I mean, you got to pay to come. So that means you've got skin in the game and you're vested. And I mean, you could hear a pin drop in some of these rooms, which is so cool. They are all eager to learn. The presenters, we owe them a huge, thank you, and our gratitude to them for giving up their time and knowledge, and just everybody to make it happen. So, Gary?
Yeah, I was going to say what really sets these classes apart, I think, is the students and the instructors. And the students, I never see that much focus anywhere. And the instructors are doing a really good job at keeping their attention and keeping things fun and lighthearted. You had Maddie doing magic tricks that in the back end were tied into his presentation to like get the point across about what was capable with a laser and how you can put different skill sets together. And there's a lot that goes into it, and the students were amazing. We've all had classes or been part of things where we're yawning so hard that our jaws hurt, or there's somebody that's disruptive because they're not paying attention, and you don't see that here. It's not that event, right? Like everybody is focused and honing their crafts, and it's awesome to see.
No, yeah. It was fantastic. A+, better than ever. Best year. Yeah. And next year we've got great plans. it always have room for improvement. So tons and tons of new stuff. So
yeah, and that's the same thing we talked about a bit while we were there, was that it's all about changing your trajectory and getting a little bit better every day, a little bit better and a little bit better. And that comes from us putting on the event too, like just trying to always make it one step better each year.
100%.
I think that's a good segue into a reminder too that everyone that was an attendee should have received an email for a survey, correct?
Yep. Yeah. Make sure you fill out that survey, and we'd love to get your feedback. It helps us shape the show. We absolutely listen, and we'll respond. We want to make it the best experience, period. So, don't think that it goes on deaf ears. We absolutely listen, and we'll make those changes. So let us know.
You're not going to hurt our feelings. And it was the feedback from last year that helped shape this event this year. And we'll continue to have that feedback loop, and it'll help us all get what we all want out of it, which is being smarter.
Yeah.
I mean, the show's for you guys. So
absolutely. Oh my God. Want. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, so I know we're running out of time here, but I have a good friend with me. I have Brett from Audiomotive from South Africa, and he's traveled over here every year 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. And just so you guys know, it's a 30-hour flight from door to door. It's insane to get here. He's brought his dealers. He's a Rockford Fosgate dealer, and I'm telling you guys, he does Rockford better than anyone on the planet. It's a culture. They're very passionate, but I just thought we could hear from Brett. You love his accent, and let's just ask him a couple questions. I'm gonna have to hand him my headset, so you guys ask him a couple quick questions. I know we're at the top of the hour, so we got to cut it just a little short. But here you go, Brett. Come on in. Good to see you, Brett. Come on in.
Welcome to the stage. Hey,
Hello,
Brett.
everybody.
Hey,
how's it going?
Very good. Well, thanks, Mark and Brian and Gary. I mean, being on the show is a hell of a privilege, I have to say.
Well, we're happy to have you. So, I mean, it's great to, obviously you're there with Brian right now in person in Phoenix, and you were obviously at the show last week. So like Brian said, like 30 hours of travel. Why go through all that effort to come all the way over here for the expo?
That's a very good question. And truthfully, I mean, having come over to the US for many, many years, when Brian first told me about doing this, obviously I knew this was going to be the only place where the world's best people could congregate. Because typically, if you had to get this information anywhere, it would always be disjointed. You'd have to go to some other kinds of trainings. And that was the big problem that this industry always had. And us being so far away, that's already a challenge. So it just made a lot of sense to be able to be, and also it just attracts, like Brian said earlier, the people that have, they put some skin in the game because they've obviously spent the money and you can produce quality. And I mean, I've been to a lot of venues where they're trying to make money from the event, whereas for me, I look at this as it's just feeding it forward. And I always believe that we've got to pay it forward down the line because, nothing's forever. And I think this is the best opportunity for everybody which has these skills. And I've met some amazing people and I mean, some incredible talents, which I think the world needs to know. And if anybody's obviously never been, the fact that, South Africa is far away and there's countries that should be here. Everybody in this business, if they're not here, they're basically going to become redundant in the next 2 or 3 years. And that's the honest God truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Gary, you look like you have something to say.
Oh, no, I was just nodding my head. I couldn't have chosen better words.
Yeah,
Thank you.
for sure. The collaboration between everyone, and like you said, it's all the great minds of car audio and fabrication and installation and all the different aspects of this industry kind of all collaborate together. And honestly, even all the attendees, like I find that a lot of times we're learning things from the attendees as well. It's just such a great mind form of collaboration between everyone. It's truly a special event.
Yeah,
so.
And it's not just in the classrooms. It's while you're having lunch and hanging out with guys and having conversations, and that just sparks ideas. And I got off on 2 or 3 things. Brian Mitchell and I went off on a tangent that probably consumed 12 hours of my time out there so far, and we're excited because we want to push each other to do some stuff, and you don't get that anywhere else.
Absolutely.
Are you referring to your phase discussions?
Yeah. It's a little in depth, but yeah.
Yeah, cool. If I can just add, I think there's people that have perhaps left schools and don't really know what to do with their careers. And I think the industry was going in the wrong direction. And I think Brian has saved it, if I can say that, because all this talent was out there and now they're leaving schools and going, hey, this is something that I can actually take as a career. And I think that's the next level, to actually make it become a seriously looked at, not just in America, but globally. And people can come and take this as something which they can see is going to bring them a living, an actual living, not just something that people just did. Oh, you're a car audio guy. It should be taken because the skills are just insane. And it's just getting so more advanced. It's actually mind blowing. Every year I come here and I'm just getting goosebumps thinking about it. It's just, if you don't come, honestly, you're just going to be in the back of the pile.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's the transition of just being a car audio guy to being a master tech.
Hey.
Exactly. 100%. Yeah, that's absolutely right, Mark. Yeah.
The other totally. That has changed for me recently, changing what I do for a living. But there's also collaboration, not just with the students, but on the manufacturer side. And that, what a lot of people don't see is that behind the scenes, the manufacturers are trying to keep access to these vehicles and give you ways to upgrade your sound systems and to make all this possible. And it's events like this that the manufacturers even collaborate and talk about the future of the industry and help try to guide that and make sure that they're making the products that the installers need to be successful also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, great. Well, good to see you, Brett.
Thank you.
Happy to have you on the show. Does you want to ask Brian? I don't know if he can hear us or not. Does he have anything else that he wants?
He can't hear us. I don't know if there's anything else.
We can talk we can say anything we want, right?
I know we could be here for weeks at this, but I think everybody's got to get back to their business. But thank you once again, gentlemen. It's really awesome, and I'll be back next year and keep coming. As long as we can keep breathing and get on airplanes, we'll be here.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Great to see you, and thank you for making the trip. I always enjoyed at least
Always.
get and hang out for a couple.
Always.
Yeah,
I always see you in the
likewise.
passageway, and just make sure that I give acknowledgement for your guys' efforts. And I know you're busy, but it's worth it every single time. If it's if it's becomes how can I put it? I think the effort that Brian puts in once a year, and I've been here after the event, I don't think people realize. And I just want to say this real quick, because I mean the amount of, products, and he calls it assets. It's insane. I mean, I was here the whole day today helping him sort through stuff, and he says it takes normally months, and it's just an immense task that people, I don't think when they walk in there, they realize how much is going on, because they just see everything in place. But, and I mean, if I can mention this, Brian was ill earlier this year. So he put a lot of stress on his family, and that's why I figured, if anything, to come out here and help him. And we're losing people in this industry. We spoke about Todd earlier, and Larry Van Sickle, and I mean, those are people that were just such great values, and I know all of them, and I'm very privileged to be on the other side of the world and have this opportunity to be friends with them. Yeah, so that's what keep me coming. Anyway, I'll hand you over to Brian. Thank you again before I get chucked off the show for talking too much.
See you next
Bye.
year.
Okay,
Thanks,
cool.
All right, boys. We should probably wrap this up, huh?
Yeah.
Yep.
So, hey, what a show. Hats off to everybody. Thank you for all our sponsors, presenters, you guys. It's a group effort, and it was great.
Thanks to all the attendees.
Oh,
The most, yeah.
yes, the attendees, the most. It was incredible, and we're looking for a better, more polished, even I think crazy version next year.
Crazy. Let's do it, boys. Good
All
stuff.
right.
Thanks
Okay.
everyone for tuning in.
All right. See you guys. Take care.
Night.
Good night.